Welcome back to another episode and show of Timeout with McCallie. Today with yours truly, McCallie Pennycook, myself, me, McCallie. Today we have another great show talking about Week 6 of the NFL. It was another crazy, interesting week this week that went down. Some wild games that went on. The Eagles aren't in a good spot. We'll talk about them. And the Jets are probably even in a worse spot with falling to an 0-6 record. Who is the best team in the NFL? Y'all tell me, who is the best team in the NFL? The Chiefs win. They're starting to look a lot scarier as they move to 3-3, and they're getting some pieces back. Drake Maye has arrived, and we talk about other games that went down this week. Let's get into it, man. We're back. Alrighty. So, obviously, we're back today. Today with this live show. I didn't have an episode or a live show last week because your boy was busy with midterms and exams. I was busy. Remember now, I'm a college student. I'm still a college student, and your boy was busy with some exams. Had to pass through his exams and get those exams right. So we had no episode last week, but today we are back. The schedule is offloading a little bit. We're back in the groove of things. But today we'll talk about the NFL. Obviously, if you guys saw my TikTok today, Timeout Pod on TikTok, you obviously saw me talking about the Eagles there and my frustration still with the team. But honestly, I'm feeling really optimistic, about, this week. For some odd reason, I just feel like the offense is going to have the best game of the season. Within the run game, within Jalen, the pass game, with AJ and Devontae Smith and Dallas and the offensive line, for some reason, I just feel like they're going to have their best week. I don't know why, but I just feel confident. I know that they're playing against Brian Flores and our predictable offense. He's probably going to have a field day against us. But, some reason I just feel more confident. An inexperienced offensive coordinator going up against Brian Flores, who's one of the best defensive coordinators in football, and they create a lot of turnovers. Somehow I just feel like confident. I don't know. I just do. And hopefully the defense is healthier this week. I know we obviously weren't healthy defensively against the Giants. It's still no excuse. We did not show up and play well. But, I feel if Q is playing, if Jalen Carter's back, I still losing Zadarius Smith to retirement was still even crazier in itself. This defense has no pass rush, unfortunately. It's pretty weak. And Zadarius Smith was playing like one of our best pass rushers, too. So that in itself is not good. But for some odd reason, there's just talks about potentially having Jahad Campbell play off the edge, which is, I don't know. I think the defensive line, Howie needs to go out and get an edge rusher and another corner. Because we saw Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson play on the outside when Q didn't play. My God, those brothers were terrible. They were terrible. But enough talking about them. Let's move on. The Jets lose again to the Denver Broncos in London with a score of 13-11. The experiment with Justin Fields should honestly be over. They only had 82 yards of total offense in this game. Justin Fields had 43 passing yards with -10 passing net yards. Aaron Glenn should face a lot of criticism as well with his decisions at the end of the first half. What was he doing? I don't know. It's major things. Choosing to become a Jets fan in your life, like waking up and choosing to become a Jets fan, is essentially like a life sentence without the possibility of parole. You're not going to see nothing good. You're in straight hell for the rest of your life being a Jets fan. They are beyond bad, beyond awful. And I don't think it'll ever change. This is probably one of the worst franchises in sports. They have the longest active playoff drought in all of active sports. And no matter what coach, what quarterback, what team, they're always going to be the same. Trash. And I think Aaron Glenn, unfortunately, I know he's a black coach, and I root for a lot of black coaches in the NFL to have a lot of success. I think he's going to be one and done. I want these brothers to succeed as head coaches. I even still want Brian Flores to be a head coach. I think they're going to be one and done. I think Aaron Glenn is going to be one and done. And if they keep on losing, I wouldn't be surprised if he is let go before the season. Like what he did at the end of the first half, like was just egregious. Deciding to run a fake punt, and the fake punt was as an awful play. He basically ran like a tush push, and it didn't go anywhere. And then on top of that, them not deciding to run a play with 10 seconds left at the end of the half because it was fourth down, and you were worried that if the play didn't like work out or whatever, that the Broncos would have a chance to go hit a field goal with 3 seconds left at your like own 40. And then not deciding to kick a field goal instead of going for it when your offense has shown you no confidence or promise at all of, you know, converting downs or doing any of that stuff. That to me is just terrible. Like to me, that is just like honestly awful. And two, Justin Fields is not a good quarterback. He has some of the craziest PR I've ever seen. He's never been good. Like I'm in a group chat and they're talking about like, oh well, it's not Justin Fields. Like it's the team, it's the off. Like no, Justin Fields makes literally everyone else around him bad. He's not a good quarterback. He holds on to the ball. He can't process the field. He doesn't know how to go through his progressions. He can't read a defense. He's a slow processor. He's not good. There are guys wide open, and he just won't throw them the ball. He'll just sit in the pocket, just like, what do I do? What do I do? Like, he's not good. He's not a good quarterback. He holds on to the ball. He had the same amount of completions as sacks taken. He took 9 sacks and had 9 completions. That is awful. He's not a good quarterback. This, especially, it goes back to Aaron Glenn and the organization for deciding to have Aaron Rodgers fly all the way from California to Jersey and them telling him, like, you're not going to be our quarterback anymore. We're going with somebody else. And then you decide to go with Justin Fields? And Aaron Rodgers is, like, balling in Pittsburgh. He's still slinging the ball, still showing that he has some youth left in him. He has some game left in him. And they went with Justin Fields. They decided to choose Justin Fields over Aaron Rodgers. I don't think Rodgers was ever the problem in the Jets. I mean, obviously, he had something to do with the Jets being bad. Obviously, yeah, I agree. I still agree with that. I think it was like 60-40 Jets, 40% Aaron Rodgers. But he was never like the issue in terms of like skill talent-wise. Justin Fields is not a good quarterback. He's not. Honestly, I think he should be benched. I think Tyrod Taylor would be a better option. And he honestly played better in that Tampa Bay game than Justin Fields ever had so far in the season. Maybe week 1 against Pittsburgh, but like, bro, he's been awful. He just is not a good starting quarterback. He isn't a starting level quarterback. And the fact that he keeps getting chance after chance after chance is kind of egregious at this point now. It is. And when he sits in the pocket for too long, why doesn't he use his legs? You're one of the best scrambling quarterbacks in the NFL. Use your legs. He doesn't. So he sits there and takes a sack. Everybody's always been saying, well, Justin Fields is not playing well because the offensive line is bad. Maybe he's making the offensive line bad. Do you know, like, an O-line only has a certain amount of time to hold up a defensive line, right? They have like maybe about 2 to 3 seconds. If even 3 seconds. Ball should be coming out 1-2, boom. 1-2-3, boom. He's 1-2. He's 1-2-3-4-5-6. It's not good. He's not a good quarterback. He isn't. And the fact that the Jets decided to pay this guy $20 million for 2 years, awful. And the Jets, honestly, if you're a Jets fan, once again, I don't even know what to tell you. This is your life sentence without the possibility of parole. You're serving a life sentence without the possibility of parole. Choosing to become a Jets fan is like getting a life sentence without the possibility of parole. You're not going to see nothing good, and you're going to be in hell for the rest of your life. Simple as that. Moving on to the next game, another rant incoming from me from the AFC East. The Dolphins are going to be blown up before the season is over. Tua's comments after the game were only alarming, with his comments talking about players not showing up or being late to player-only meetings. And it starts with the leadership. But isn't he one of the leaders of the team? So the Dolphins obviously lost this game against the Chargers in a close game. I think it was 27-26. And Tua after the game had this to say. I will share my screen of what Tua said after the game against the Chargers. Excuse me, my thing is muted. But here is what Tua said. Well, so obviously that was Tua after the game talking about players missing player only meetings and not showing up to meetings, being late and everything. Like, Tua, you're the leader of the team. What is he talking about? Like, you are the leader of the team, Tua. Right? Like, why is he's basically calling out himself in this situation. He's calling out himself. First of all, player only meetings is not a good sign. If you're having player only meetings at this time during the season, it's not good. And first of all, throwing your teammates under the bus in front of the media is not a good thing, Tua. It's just not. It shows that those guys don't respect you. Tua, you have been terrible this season. Downright bad. And you're going to go to the media and tell them, yeah, guys are not showing up to player-only meetings. It starts up with leadership. Like, you're the leadership. You're calling out yourself. You were the one that was actually calling yourself out. You're basically saying that your leadership is awful. And these guys don't respect you. They don't. They have zero respect for you. That's why they're not showing up. Because you're not a good leader of men. And it also shows that this culture, they don't respect the culture. They don't respect the leadership. They don't respect the coach. The Dolphins have had so many guys, they've had to find guys because they're not showing up on time to meetings because they don't respect the coach. They don't respect Mike McDaniel. So I do expect the Dolphins to blow it up at the trade deadline. I would expect Wallace to be traded. I wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised if A-Chain's traded. Wouldn't be surprised if some of these guys are traded and offloaded because McDaniel's getting fired before the season's over. Chris Greer is getting fired before the season. I guarantee you, if they keep losing, their guys are going to be gone. The regime's gone because nobody in that building respects the leadership. And it's so clear and obvious that the locker room is lost. They've lost the locker room. If you're and especially if you're going to go to the media and say that these guys are not showing up or what, that's awful. That's terrible. Bush League. You're going to throw your guys under the bus when you haven't held yourself accountable at all this season. At all. You're not playing good, Tua. This is why I feel like nobody in the league respects Tua. Because of this. Guys are not showing up to meetings. What about you? It's over in Miami. It's done. It is done. Guys are gonna get fired. Guys are gonna get traded, cut, released. Everything is gonna get cleared house in Miami this season. I can guarantee you that. And these comments only confirm it more because guys do not respect the leadership within the Miami Dolphins. It's gonna happen. It's done. All right. Moving on to the next segment of today's show. Drake Maye and the Patriots have arrived early and often. They're playing very well this year, starting off 4-2 for the first time since the Tom Brady era. Drake Maye kind of reminds you of a Justin Herbert in his early days, the ability to just rip and sling it down the field. Now, obviously, guys, I wasn't able to talk about Drake Maye and the Patriots, obviously, last episode because they played the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. Drake Maye is that dude. I'm this close to calling him the truth. This close. But he's getting damn near close. He's playing so well. And this is honestly he's playing up to his draft pick projection and potential. Like it's like the Patriots like clearly have found their quarterback moving forward, and they entrust him in the franchise quarterback label as well. Mike Vrabel has these guys playing very well, and I'm not surprised that Mike Vrabel has the Patriots playing this well with the record and how they're playing. Obviously Drake Maye is playing like one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He honestly does remind you, like I said before, he reminds you of that Justin Herbert, just slinging the ball down the field. He's athletic. Maybe he's big too. Kind of reminds you of a little bit of a Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, a little bit of that sort of build. And it just seems like it's a breath of fresh air with New England. Obviously they were looking for the quarterback after Tom had left the Patriots. And obviously they've tried Cam Newton, didn't work. Tried Mac Jones, worked one season, but after that couldn't build off this success in his rookie season. It seems like Drake Maye is going to be the guy. And Drake Maye is playing very, very well football. His completion percentage is 74%. Thrown 10 touchdowns and 2 picks. Has over 1,000 yards. I mean, yards don't really matter. But they're winning games. And potentially, to be honest with you, maybe the Patriots can honestly win the division. Could they? What? I mean, Buffalo's not playing good football, but certainly I think the Patriots can honestly, contend for the playoffs. I said in one of my TikTok videos that the Patriots, I said, do not be surprised if the Patriots contend for the playoffs this year in a wild card spot or whatever spot they are. Hey, that prediction is looking pretty good right now. And, you see Stephon Diggs obviously kind of had the best game in a while in his career against the Bills through that revenge game that he played. His leadership is showing up. Those guys are playing well. The defense is playing well. I mean, it just seems like Mike Vrabel is a really, really good coach. I'm not surprised that they're playing very, very, very well right now, and their record is 4-2. Not to mention, the Patriots have one of the easiest schedules in the NFL. They got a 4th place division schedule in the AFC East, and they should make the playoffs. Would not be surprised at all if the Patriots do make the playoffs, because easy schedule, their offense is really hot, and Drake Maye is breaking out. And this is what you love to see, him working out, and I'm not surprised. Right. Moving on to the next segment of today's show as well. The Chiefs win 30-17 on Sunday night against the Lions and the Chiefs. The Chiefs offense is really starting to come into its own with its offensive line and it's this deep receiving room. Patrick Mahomes has been playing like the best quarterback in the NFL this year. And when he gets back Rashee Rice, obviously this week, they're going to make a deep run. So I just want to say this. Honestly, there's another take I want to toot my own horn on. I said in my TikTok video in the summer that Patrick Mahomes their offense is going to return to form because they're going to have a better offensive line and their receiver room is going to be a lot deeper this year. And hopefully they stay healthy. And if that happens, I said Pat's going to have an MVP caliber season. And boy, was I right. Obviously the Chiefs, they're 3-3. They started real shaky, 0-2, right? Look, with the receiver room with Worthy, Juju, Hollywood Brown, Tyquan Thornton, and now you add Rashee Rice, that could honestly be Pat's deepest receiver room that he's ever had. And especially, too, the offensive line. Obviously, Josh Simmons did not play this game because obviously he had personal issues with his family, praying for him. But a guy like Jalen Moore, he really stepped up in a left tackle spot. And I'm telling you this, once the offensive line plays well for Pat can really, really do his thing. And once the offensive line holds up for Pat, if they play well, Pat is going to dominate. He's going to dominate. And especially you take a look at his numbers this year. Let me just read you off his numbers. Now, a lot of people have been saying Baker Mayfield has been the MVP. But I like to challenge you on that. Patrick Mahomes has 15 total touchdowns to Baker Mayfield's 12. He has 1,736 total yards to Baker Mayfield's 1,697 yards. Obviously, Baker has only thrown 1 interception, but Pat has thrown 2. And honestly, if I was a voter, I would honestly pick Patrick Mahomes. I mean, he's literally kept this offense afloat by himself with obviously missing Worthy with his shoulder, Rashee being out. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs go and make a deep run right now with their schedule because they're playing the best football at the right time. So obviously next week they play the Raiders at home. I expect them to win that game. They play the Commanders Monday Night Football. I think they're going to be the Commanders. Then they go to Buffalo. Now here's the thing. If they beat Buffalo in Buffalo this year on that 4:00 CBS game, that's going to be a really good game, by the way. If they beat Buffalo, I think they're going to go to the Super Bowl. Because Buffalo is the only team in the AFC that's really obviously, competing with them. But Buffalo is not playing good football. They're not playing good football. And Buffalo, their defense stinks. And the Chiefs have been playing good football the past 2 games. Obviously, the Jaguars game, they didn't win the game. Obviously, the Jaguars played really well. But they put up 28 points. And if Pat didn't throw the pick six, that would have been 35 points. Right? Their defense played really well against Detroit. And their offense put up 30. Their offense has put up near 30 points the past 3 games. And if the Chiefs go at the trade deadline, get a running back, I could be honestly very well surprised. I could honestly tell you, the Chiefs go back to Super Bowl. If they make a deadline move to get a running back, and if they stay healthy, and obviously you know Spags. Spags is going to have these guys playing well, man, defensively. This team, there isn't a clear best team in the NFL, but if I were had to pick, I would pick the Chiefs to be up there because of the projection. I mean, they honestly look at the best. They were the best team this week. They play like the best team this week, other than maybe the Colts or the Bucks. So I think if I had to project, I would think the Chiefs are going to have the best projection of who's going to be the best team because their offense is playing really well. They're getting health. They're probably the healthiest team out of anyone right now in the AFC. And I think they're going to make a deep run. They're going to go on a huge run and have a really good record by at the end of November. I just think that's going to happen. I think, honestly, and especially, too, I want to make a comment on this. I think the Lions players are like losers. Brian Branch, that was such a loser move. It's such a sore loser, punk move at the end of the game, going up to Juju and just hitting him in the face because he blindsided you. He blindsided, yes, that's true. He blindsided you. But there's no need to go evil, pay evil with evil, man. Usually the second guy that retaliates back is always going to get punished. And he's going to face a suspension. And he deserves a suspension because the game was over. There was no need to do that. You lost. Show some respect. I mean, not respect. Show some sportsmanship. That's been taught since we were little kids to show sportsmanship. Yes, you could be upset about it, but there's no need to go up to a man and hit him in the face, fight with him because you lost. Bush League. He should be suspended for that. That was terrible. And same with Kirby Joseph too, going on Twitter and just ranting about dude, he was one of his PFF. I know PFF is not a good thing, but he played awful. Kirby Joseph did not play well. I'm telling you, the Lions players have a bunch of losers. Terrion Arnold too, posting that GIF or that AI clip of Dan Campbell and Mahomes, and Mahomes gave you belt to ass, and the dude wasn't even playing. It's the Lions players are just a bunch of losers. I'm glad that they didn't win the Super Bowl last year. I'm so glad. The only person I actually like on that team, I would say Gibbs. I actually like Gibbs. That's the only player I actually kind of like. Everyone else is just annoying. I like Gibbs and Montgomery. Everyone else is just annoying, bro. So annoying. And Laporta. I actually don't like Laporta. Laporta was a bust for me in fantasy last year. Everyone else is annoying. I don't like, and they're all losers. They just are. Brian Branch, what a loser. Kirby Joseph, loser. Terrion Arnold, loser. Amon-Ra St. Brown talking about after we won the Super Bowl, oh, you would have loser. Sam Laporta, loser. Dan Campbell's his teeth look weird, loser. No, actually, no. Dan Campbell's a really good. He's a good coach. I actually like Dan Campbell. What he said after the game too, said it's not what we're about. I apologize to Juju Smith-Schuster and the Chiefs and Andy Reid. That's respect. Dan Campbell's not a loser. No, he's a good coach. Very, very good coach. And yes, but everyone else is just a loser. I think it's a loser. All right. Moving on to the Monday Night Football game, especially talking about the Bills next. The Bills lost to the Falcons 24-14, and the Bills are not playing good football right now. Even with an easier schedule, Josh Allen and the offense looks out of sync, and the Bills defense still becomes a major question this season if they truly want to contend for a Super Bowl. Bijan Robinson is the truth, and the Falcons are finally playing up to their potential. So I want to say this. I think, obviously, right now, the Bills offense looks so out of sync. It's just like Josh is running around trying to like find something out of nothing, and there's just not anything there. And honestly, it kind of feels like Josh is playing like he did 2 seasons ago in 2023 when he was just like forcing a lot of things and he was turning over the ball. And last year, the reason why he did win the MVP is because he just stopped turning over the football. He just stopped turning over the football. And their offense was playing a lot better because they could run the ball too. And honestly, their passing game was just out of sync. Josh was throwing interceptions, receivers not really doing anything special of worthy note to the defense. Keon Coleman has honestly been a little bit disappointing. Shakir's not bad. Who else is on the team? I think Josh Palmer has been all right. Kincaid had a nice touchdown. I think Kincaid has been playing out of the entire passing game, to be honest with you. So I think the Bills would probably need to go out and find another receiver at the trade deadline. I know they tried to do it with last year with Amari Cooper. I don't think that's going to – another player like Amari Cooper will really help you. But their offense is playing out of sync. And to be honest with you, their defense is not a championship contending defense. Let me just say this again. It has never been a championship contending defense. The Buffalo Bills defense has never been a championship contending defense in this era with Josh Allen. It has never been. Every year, this defense constantly gets shredded by Patrick Mahomes in January. Every season, bro. Every season in the playoffs, Patrick Mahomes kills this defense. Just look at the numbers. And to be honest, this year, they got shredded by Atlanta on the run game. Bijan ran all over them, and then Drake London destroyed them too. Especially last week against New Orleans, they didn't play that well either. Drake Maye lit them up. Lamar and them dropped, and Derrick Henry had 40. If they didn't choke that game, they would have gotten blown out. I don't think the defense has ever been a championship contending defense under this era of Josh Allen. That's why they lose games. It's not because when you look at these games in January, it's not the reason why they've lost is not because of Josh Allen, the offense, because of the defense. Allowing a field goal in 13 seconds, horrible. Mahomes has killed this defense. I think it's going to continue. I think the Bills are not going to win a Super Bowl with this defense. I don't think they will win the Super Bowl this year with this defense. It's not good. Even last year, to be honest with you, there was a stretch in December where the Rams just destroyed them. The Rams destroyed them and Detroit destroyed them. They were lucky to run into a rookie quarterback in the wild card round. And they were lucky that Mark Andrews was dropping the ball in Buffalo. And then look what happened the week later. Injured, a pretty bruised up Chiefs team dropped 32 on them. That's why they lost. I don't think the Bills defense is good enough to win a Super Bowl this season. I don't. And especially right now, if the offense is not playing in sync right now, they're not going to win. They're just not going to win. And the Bills need to go out and get a receiver, and they need to go out and get some defensive help. So I just don't. Maybe the unit just has to play better. Maybe just execute better, because they just aren't playing like a contending defense if they want to be so-called Super Bowl contenders. The Falcons too I feel like the Falcons are finally playing up to their potential of what we see on paper with them. Bijan Robinson is the truth. I think he's the best running back in the National Football League. Yes, I want to say that's Saquon, but so far Bijan has been playing like the best running back in football. Why do I say this? Well, that brother's on my fantasy team. I would know this because he's on my fantasy football team. He had 35 points. He is so good. Bijan Robinson kind of reminds you if Alvin Kamara and Christian McCaffrey had a baby. That would be Bijan Robinson. He cuts like Alvin Kamara and he moves like Christian McCaffrey with the game out of the backfield too. He's kind of like a do-it-all back. His cuts are so good. His footwork and his feet, and after like his 80-yard touchdown, I mean, I think he has like 800 total yards of offense. Like, and he's leading the league in that. He's leading the league in that. And he also missed a week too. He had a bye week. I pull up his stats right now. I don't have this on cue with me. I apologize for that. But if I go to Bijan Robinson this season, like Bijan this year, he had 238 total yards against Buffalo, 181 against Washington, 111 against Carolina, 168 against Minnesota, and 124 total yards against Tampa Bay. He's literally if Alvin Kamara and CMC had a baby. And especially too, Drake London played so well too. Drake London in yesterday's game had 158 yards and 10 catches. Almost had that sick touchdown at the end of the first half. Once again, the Bills defense not being that great. He had a play where he caught the ball on like a little slant and took it to the crib, but his foot stepped out of bounds. If that play counted, that would have been a buzzer beater touchdown. And it wasn't like it was thrown to the end zone. He ran. Look after the catch. Bills defense, but Drake London, and Michael Penix in this offense, if they continue to play like this, and especially too, the Falcons' defensive line also bullied the Bills' O-line. Bullied them. Bullied. And I know they were sending the blitz, and I know the Bills had troubles too with the pass rush. I also forgot to mention that too in the offense. Jalen Walker and those guys, they played very well. The defensive line too has been an issue with the Falcons the past couple of years. And this was like the best I think the Falcons defensive line has played in a while. Like in a while. And the Bills offensive line is pretty good too. And they just bullied them. So I think honestly, if the Falcons continue to play like this, play like how they're supposed to play, I think they can contend for the division. I don't think people should just rule out the Buccaneers just winning the division like that. I know the Buccaneers beat them in week 1. I just wouldn't rule out the Falcons to potentially contend and win the division and also make the playoffs. All right. Moving on to the next segment of today's show. Baseball is in the deep part of the series as both leagues are in championship series with the Mariners up 2-0 and the Dodgers also up 2-0 on the road. The last time the road teams went up 2-0 in the Championship League Series was 1975. The Mariners were playing on very little rest as I watched pretty much every inning of that 15-inning game against the Tigers. Yes, I did, by the way. The Mariners are just hitting a lot better than the Blue Jays, and especially helps when Jorge Polanco being the unsung hero these past few games. The Blue Jays haven't hit that well since their hot series against the Yankees, and Trey Savage came back down to earth with the Mariners being able to hit on it. The Dodgers are starting to feel like the 2021-2023 Astros. They are inevitable. With ridiculous pitching, with Blake Snell going 8 innings, only allowing 1 hit, and Yoshinobu Yamamoto going a complete game with 3 hits allowed, 7 strikeouts, and his only run was a solo shot in the first inning. Yeah, so obviously the game is going on right now. The Toronto Blue Jays are currently up 12-2 in the top of the 7th inning. So Toronto has finally woken up. They got punked the first game 2 they got punked, but they're punking the Mariners back. The Mariners have just been able to hit better so far in this series. The first 2 games, they just hit better than the Blue Jays. And the Blue Jays, they didn't hit Mariners. They pitched better. It's just sometimes about they just had more timely hits, more timely big home runs. But in the same case, in this game going on right now, it's the opposite. The Blue Jays are hitting really, really well, and they're pitching a lot better than Seattle is. So, I mean, both these teams are honestly pretty evenly matched up, in my opinion. It's just the Blue Jays going down 2-0, down 0-2, not good. And they're like basically fighting for their lives because if they lost this game, down 3-0 is like basically like series over. So we'll see. I think honestly, I would, if I were to be honest, I think the Mariners would win this series in 6. Going up 2-0 down the road is so huge. And I just think the Mariners are going to win because, obviously they've played on very little rest from the Tiger series. First of all, I watched that game, all 15 innings. Crazy, by the way. Their inability to move the runner from second to third in those extra innings was very alarming. Are they clutch? Do they have timely hits? Can they make timely hits? Can they bunt at all? Can they get a pitcher to hit into the outfield that can move the runner to third? And they couldn't do it. And I was like, you know what? I think the Blue Jays, what they did to my Yankees, absolutely destroyed them with their bats. And the Yankees just couldn't match that. And our pitching wasn't very good. And their pitching was good because Trey Savage literally threw one fucking pitch, a splitter down low, and somehow we knew what was coming and we still couldn't hit it or not swing at it. So, I mean, we'll see. I think this is like kind of like it is. I think game 4 will tell us everything. If the Blue Jays win that game, that will tell us a lot how the rest of the series will go out. All right. So moving on. I mean, before I move on too, like I'm seeing, obviously, like tomorrow, I think Luis Castillo will probably pitch game 4 as they're showing him on the TV. And I think that's probably their best pitcher other than not George Kirby. What's his face? He pitched game 2. Logan Gilbert. Yes, Logan Gilbert, who I like his stuff. So we shall see. Game 4 will be probably the decider, I think, of how this series is going to go. All right. Moving on to the next, obviously the other series. The Dodgers are starting to feel like the 2023 Houston Astros. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. This team is inevitable. No matter if you think your team is better than the Dodgers, no matter if you're the Phillies and you think, oh, we have a better team, we're going to beat them. No, wrong. Oh, the Brewers have beat the Dodgers 6 straight times in a row, and they beat them every time this season. Doesn't matter. It's a different team. It's the postseason now. The Dodgers are becoming that team. They're just inevitable. You think you're better? Well, you're not, because we're better. We have timely home runs that feel like death. Every time Teoscar Hernandez hits a home run in the postseason, it feels like death. That home run, I tell you, that home run can suck a life out of a building. It does. It just does. I'm watching it yesterday too. Max Muncy, he hit that home run, the entire stadium just went literally from here down to here. You can say the same thing for whenever Kike Hernandez. Baseball stadium is up here, all the way down here. And honestly, the biggest issue right now for the Dodgers is their bullpen. They have had bullpen issues the entire year. And it's been cool to see Roki Sasaki, who honestly had a tough start to his career in the early season, but they moved him to that kind of closer role. Shut down, bro. Shut down the Phillies. And then obviously in game 1, obviously, they almost choked the lead, but how about Blake Trinan coming in? Bases loaded with 2 outs, close the door on them. I mean, the Dodgers, it's just about the playoffs, man. They're just a better team suited for the playoffs. And that was just like, I was like, damn, like, wow. Bases loaded, 2 outs, and he was still able to come through. Like, that to me was like, wow, okay, all right. I think the Dodgers are they're going to win this series. And going up 2-0, the Brewers couldn't even get a single game at home. Now you got to fly to the Dodgers with all the momentum. I mean, I know Glasnow and Shohei are pitching probably game 3 and 4. Also, it also helps the Dodgers have probably one of the best rotations left out of all 4 of these teams. Like, you have Blake Snell, who literally went 8 innings, 1 hit ball. And then Yamamoto going complete game in the playoffs. Like, those are 2 special performances. Special. So this is the Brewers' opportunity to get back into it because now they're playing up against Glasnow and Shohei, who might go shorter, and the Dodgers are gonna have to use their bullpen, and they don't want to have to use their bullpen. So I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see. We're just gonna have to wait and see and find out. I think the Dodgers are gonna win this series. I think the Brewers might get one game, but other than that, I got Dodgers in 5. So I have the Dodgers in the World Series, and I will see after Game 4 who will think will win this World Series. All right, thank you guys for tuning in to another great show today. My name is Mikhail Pennycook. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, and comment on the show and the rest of the episode. Please don't forget to follow our show, the socials as well. Timeout Pod on TikTok and Timeout with Mikhail on Instagram and on Twitter. Please also don't forget to leave a review on Apple Podcasts as well. Rate us on Apple Podcasts. Please don't forget, like, subscribe, comment. I'll see you guys in the next show. Peace.